It's 3 p.m. and it's time for us to kickstart. We have one of the participants on the call who also is an intern at Rovers Global. Others will join us as they come in. I've already set the host. I've already set the meeting to receive participants without me even accepting them, so we can start. And I'll be starting by introducing the guest speaker for today. I think maybe by the time I'm done with that, we'll have a couple of other participants on the program. So our guest speaker by the name Suliyat Oladimeji. It's my pleasure to introduce her on the program today. She's a highly skilled data analyst and trainer, and she's also the founder of DataValue. With extensive hands-on experience in data analytics, Suliyat is dedicated to unlocking the power of data to drive smarter business decisions. She has worked with both individuals and organizations to transform data into actionable insights, especially within the financial sector. Our expertise spans a variety of analytical tools, including Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau, enabling her to tackle complex data problems with precision and clarity. Our passion lies not only in uncovering insights, but also in empowering others by helping young professionals develop future-proof skills in this ever-evolving digital landscape. Our experience as a freelancer and in the financial industry gives her practical insights on how tech and analytics are reshaping modern business and project execution. She works tirelessly to help others understand how they can utilize data to enhance their projects and drive results. Please join me in welcoming Suliyat Oladimeji, a true advocate for data-driven decision-making and skill building for the future. You have the floor. You can proceed with your presentation for today. You are muted in case you are speaking already.
Sorry about that. I thought speaking. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oladimeji Suliyat, as introduced. Thank you, Mr. Olawale. So today we'll be talking about the importance of data analytics, and permit me to share my screen. This is okay. Okay. So we're talking about turning data into actions, how tech and AI are changing the way we work and we decide. That is simply means that how we are using data analytics to work and to make informed decisions rather than doing a guesswork or using your instinct. So the first thing we're going to talk about is we live in a world that produces 2.5 quillion bytes of data every single second. That means that we are actually sitting on data every day, and that means that the number of data that is being produced per day. If we are to represent it by grains of rice, definitely it's full the entire planet. So, but the power is not in actually in having the data, but what actually matters is what you do with your data. What do you do with the information that you are having? So I'm a data analyst, I'm a trainer, instructor, digital strategist, and I've worked with several organizations. So let's start with the years ago, in one of my projects, I have a client that has a lot of data. They have transaction data, they have their delivery records, they have data from the financial records, but they are not making any progress. So they start to wonder that why are they not improving? So thinking about that, When I start working with them, I collected the data from their financial departments, connected to the one that for their delivery, and I connected all the data together. And after doing that, hello, am I audible?
Of course, loud and clear. Continue.
So after collecting the data together, then I see that there is this particular delivery, like they have this delivery route that whenever they deliver to that particular warehouse, delivery is always late. So, and the problem comes from those people handling their delivery. These people handling their delivery. The problem comes from that angle. So after collecting the data and working with the data, I actually let them know that this is where the problem is coming from, because most of the customers that are complaining about their services, they are people that get their order. They got their order late. So their problem, this thing is coming. Their complaint is coming from that angle. So while working with their data, we actually notice these are the people causing the problem, and afterwards they have to they lay off some workers, get another workers, and work on their late delivery. So they make sure that they deliver to their customers on time. That actually reduce the number of complaints they are getting in that particular sector, and that improve their efficiency by 20% in 3 months. So it is not, the magic is not about having a lot of data, but it's about you having the insight, like what can you do with the data you are having. So for project manager, I think in this project, in for you project managers, what I think that project managers do, which is in construction, I believe for every work the project managers are doing, I don't know if most people now, I think they are tracking their data. So tracking the data in the sense that you actually know the number of what will I call it? Is this cement or all these things that you use? You know the number of this particular equipment that will finish a particular project. You know the cost, the actual cost that will finish a particular project, plus or minus. So talking from experience, I worked with someone some times ago. Okay, sorry, let's talk about why you should care about the data and tech. So decision now relies on data and AI speed. Because let's say, for example, I manage a project, a personal project, right? So while working on that project, I collect quotation from two people. Someone gave me a quotation that is very, very, very high. And that gave me a quotation that was a bit low. So, but one thing I noticed about the person that gave me a quotation that was low, the person was like, okay, if you're working with this particular, let's say cement and sand, so this is the amount he used to build this particular structure, stuff like that. So he wouldn't use more than this particular bags of cement. But the other person, that man is just okay, bring so bags. So the thing is, I just see that if you have been working with data, you've been noticing the pattern. So instead of you to just go to your client and just say, okay, this is a particular amount that will finish the project. And the particular amount that you mentioned, if you have not been noticing the trend and all, it is possible for you to give them a price that will be higher than that, like that would be outrageous, or the price that you're going to give them will be so low that at the end of it, before you finish that project, you still go back to the project owner that, okay, oh, Mr. So the money you gave us couldn't finish the project, this and that. And even for you to go back to that person, the person will be like, so you don't know what you are doing. But if you have the work and you've noted your data down, that okay, this is the amount of money that I used for this particular stuff. You know the trend, you know the pattern, so you don't have any problem. Be so sure that okay, this is this particular how much. There might be a plus or minus, but if it's going to be a plus, then it's not going to be as much as that. Because when I did that project, I couldn't give the project to the person that gave me the outrageous quotation, because I was like, this person is a 419. How will you write something like this for me? So I don't think it might not be the problem from his side, because maybe he just do a guesswork that okay, this would be enough. However, you already make an outrageous quotation. So if you're working with data, then you'll be able to know that this thing should be enough. Like this, you have the information you have your recorded information, so you already know what will be enough for this particular thing, and what's not be enough. So we have project manager expected to be tech fluent. So you are expected to be tech fluent in the sense that you have to know how to use your what Mr. Lowry, please help me with that part.
The tools?
The tools, Trello's. Uh, yeah.
Yes.
So then we have another thing is interns with digital skills often get retained than the intern with no digital skills. Of course, we are in, let's say we are in a digital world. So you have to have enough digital skills before you can compete with people that just have the certificate and no digital skills. And another thing is there is this thing going around that AI will take your job, AI will do this, AI will do that. No, AI is not going to take anybody's job, but someone that is using AI to work smarter and faster is going to take the job of someone that is not using AI. So just imagine yourself in the next 5 years. Are you a tech helper or a tech dependent? So another story about the data analysis is, let's say there is this tool, there is this photography tool that we have, then Kodak. So why this commercial actually matters? So we have this Kodak, and talking about the Kodak camera, they are very popular in around the 90s, if I'm right. So when this Kodak, when they came on board, they are not just a photography company. It was photography. So it was at its peaks in the late 90s. It controlled about 90% of the film market and employed over 140,000 people worldwide. So I think there is this slogan that we have the Kodak moment. But what thing that Kodak means to us, while they are doing their filming, their video, I don't know, video, this thing back in the 1990s, they discovered their one of their engineer in 1995 discovered the digital camera prototype. But when they discovered the digital camera prototype, they were like, oh, this thing cannot take over the film markets that they are already into, that they are making billions of naira from. So they just neglected it, like, and they continue with their film making, their video making, and they are earning a lot of money. But the one thing they ignore the warning signs that this thing is going to take, that the the digital camera is going to take over. They kept on doing, even their own market research proved to them that in the next 10 to 15 years, the digital camera is going to take over. But they didn't. They ignored the warnings. So by early 20s, companies like Canon, Sony, and the smartphone makers, they embrace the digital aggressively. And before you know it, before Kodak know it, before they jump into the digital camera, this thing, it was already too late. So in 2012, the company actually filed for bankruptcy. So the lesson of the story was Kodak has the technology, they had the data, but they lack the knowledge, the courage to act on their own insight. Instead of them to have embraced that information that they have, then to embrace the digital camera they're able to produce there, instead of them to start producing it and to start the marketing and all, they neglected their own data, they neglected their market research, and now they are not into this photography of a thing again. They are not into something else. Yeah. So the thing is, so I have to tell it. You have to. So what we are going to do now is, so whenever you are working on a data, it's not about having a data. It's about working with data you have, working with the insights that you have, not just that you are working with data. So in project management, sorry, one delay milestone can cost millions. But when tech tools flag the pattern, says the supplier delay over the last 6 months, the decision will switch the vendors from obvious savings time and money. So what does that mean? That actually means that when you're working with when you notice that there is this particular person that actually delayed the supplies, you can actually change the person and bring another person in. So instead of, let's say you want to deliver a project now, you gave the project owner, like maybe like you said, in the next 2 months the project will be done. But going back to your data board, you see that there is this particular vendor that usually deliver you one of the things that you need, but the person is always late. And you already give the project owner, you already give the person a particular time frame that your work will be done. So if you are tracking your data very well, then you know that this is where your problem is actually coming from. This is where the problem can actually come from. Probably someone that will delay the project, or people that are not working at the race they are supposed to work. So that is why you should have your data, and we have data in our workplace, in the workplace reality. So AI turn works into turn hours into minutes, then automation remove repetitive work. We have dashboard that instantly clarity for decision. Then we have data analysis that transform chaos into insight. So another story about the reality of workplace is there was a time that I worked with Power BI, that I worked for a organization using Power BI that would develop a dashboard. So while we did the dashboard, while we have that dashboard, we see that okay, all these people, all these sales that is coming from this particular area is very low. And the company is actually looking to open another outlet to another place. So while we are doing the data, we see that okay, this particular area that their gut is telling them to open their new distance, to open their new outlet. We see that that particular area is actually not bringing enough revenue to the company. It was one area that actually looks somehow local, that they have more customer in compared to a larger area. So it was doing data analysis that we actually said that okay, this is the perfect place to open another outlet and not the other area, because when you use your gut, you actually think, oh, this place is very okay, like it is urban area, people are there, so I think we should open our new this thing, we should open our new outlet. Whereas your sales might be coming from maybe another port area or another area. So that's another usefulness of this dashboard and data analysis. So data analysis is actually your weapon. So how do you go from data? I have data to have clarity. When you collect your data, you clean your data, you analyze the data, you interpret your data, and you act on it. Acting on it is making your decisions that is like, okay, oh, this is information that I have about this thing. So how do I make use of that information? Just like that, Kodak has their information that digital camera is going to take over in the next 10 to 15 years, and they didn't act on it. So the best thing to be on a safer side is whenever you have your data, just think about how to act with the information you have. Then another thing is every sector actually uses data. We have the bank, the NGOs, the startup, the TikTok, all the social media and everything. Every sector use data analytics, and our visualization between data analysis. You have the Power BI, we have the Tableau, we have the Excel, we have the Excel is actually for analysis, and you can actually use it for visualization as well. But Power BI and Tableau give you a clarity at a glance. That is, you have your dashboard in front of you. You see where your money is going and where you are running at not so low, at loss. So then we have the collaboration platform where everyone sees the same truth, which is the Trello, the Jira, and the Asana. So we have the predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is just to anticipate issue before they eat. So you already know that this is what is likely to happen in the next few years or in the next few months. This is what is likely to happen. So automation, you free your brain from automation is just what I explained earlier, that AI is just going to do the automation for you. And we have the checking. Okay, so another thing is when you are checking the statistics on your phone, when you have the stats on your phone, you're monitoring your battery. When you check the start of your phone, you see which app is consuming a lot of data, the app that is consuming a lot of battery and all. So while checking that, you already know that, okay, well, let me uninstall this particular app since I'm not using that particular app. So what you're actually doing by uninstalling an app and looking at the statistics of your battery on your phone is just data analytics. You are doing analytics, you're analyzing how your battery is running down. So that is another angle of data analysis. And sorry, I'm coming. So we have the real win of AI. So we have the retail, which is the AI. When we start using AI chatbots coming on board, there are some people that instead of having more staffs, they are going to be like, so they are going to lay off some staff for AI to do the work. So AI can actually do the work of many people now. So the best thing is to learn how to work smarter with AI, so that AI will not take your job. If you don't, so AI is going to take the job of the person that is not using AI. That's just the simple truth. So you have the construction, the strong for the construction, we have the dashboard spotted delays. When we have the dashboard, you see where your delays is coming, and when you know where the delay is coming, it is very easy for you to deliver the project faster. So we have the freelancing. What AI does for freelancer is AI write proposal, which is for to write more proposal, write proposal for clients as a freelancer. So now the question is, what is the biggest time waste? And there comes a time in your life that when you just, if I've done this thing in another way, I would have gotten a better result. Like there will be sometimes that you feel like, okay, if I've done this thing in another way, or if I've tried using another method, a better result or a faster result. So now if I may ask you, what is your biggest time waster in your internship? Like what do you think that you wasted your instead of you to take the shortcut, what do you think you wasted your time on? Can anybody meet and talk? Because I've been talking. Sorry.
Um, Ahmad, do you want to answer that question?
I don't get the question, please.
So what I said is you've been working on, sorry, okay, as an intern. So what project do you think you've worked on that, okay, you feel like I should have done it another way? Probably if you have done it another way, you'd have made the work more faster and more smarter. You'd have worked faster. Something that you have done, and after doing it, you now realize that this is another way I should have done it instead of doing it the other way. Do you have any project that you've worked on or while you are in school? Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. I don't have, but the only one is okay. The thing is, I am also learning data analytics, so
Wow,
there are
that's
some
interesting.
there are some things that I did while learning Excel, but when I checked online, I saw the other way you can do it and to be faster.
Okay, so what's that?
First of all is the way you split um you can split data using the data selection. But me, I was
Mm,
using the concatenate formula. So I checked online and I saw that they can use data selection that in a way that, for example, now an email that they attach to the time. So there's a way that you can just split it.
separate.
Time is going to be on another column and
Yeah,
this
the
instead of
split column.
formula.
Thank you. That's great. So you've been, wow. So we have a data analyst among us. Oh, well
Yes.
done. So why you must keep learning? So you must keep learning because tools change very fast and skills are expired. The tools that they are using then is not the tools that they are using now. Even if they are using it now, the way the what's the let's say the formula that they are using then was not is not the formula that they are using now. People are working smarter now than then. So tools actually change, and the way people actually think now is very fast. You have to know how to work with your tools very like the split that he's saying. I think if you are using concatenate is actually join words together. While the split function, there is split function and there is split on that Excel formula also that you use to split your different text to different column. So
Network.
another thing is AI literacy soon is going to be as basic as email. So AI, knowing how to work with AI is very, very important because very soon AI will be part of gives you a career insurance because you're going to be like you are going to be very important in any organization.
Is it my internet? Can anybody hear?
No.
Oh, I think
Fine.
it's the problem is from my end then, because I was so
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
can you hear me?
Because
Suliyat, can you hear me? I think you're having internet issues from your end. Your voice is breaking. If anyone can hear me, can you just signify
Yeah.
you have
so
a
that
lot
I'm
of
clear?
things to offer.
Okay, I think the internet just logged that out. Let's give a couple of seconds to join back on. So yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello, I'm back.
Yeah, your
Hello, can you
internet
hear
was,
me?
yes, I can hear you now. Your internet
That's
logged you out. If you can hear me now, just continue from where you
yes,
stopped.
I can hear you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Okay, so we've talked about why you must keep learning. Like tools are changing fast. Like the AI literacy will soon be as basic as email. So we have that, and we have the start small, grow big. So when you want to do, if you're talking about data analysis, you can actually start with that Excel, the formula, the pivot table, the VLOOKUPs, and everything like that. Then you have the AI tools for summaries and for research. You have the visualization tools, which is the Power BI, Google Data Studio. You have the Tableau as well. So another thing is while you are working, you can actually practice with free data sets. We have data sets on Kaggle, we have data sets on many other websites as well. So then you have to learn in public and share your progress. So while you are learning, you can actually share let people know what you are doing so that not only your instructor is going to tell you that, oh, what you're doing is not you're supposed to have, you have to do this, you have to do that. Maybe doing you're working on a project, and instead of it to work on probably the stakeholders you want to share your data with, they are interested in the profit and you're doing something else. So while sharing your work with the public, you see other people that will call your attention to is that what story are you trying to pass with your analysis, with your dashboard. So that is that. So it's very good to actually learn and share your progress in public for criticization and for constructive critics. So you have your internship is like your lab. So while you are your intern, just see your intern like a place where you are open to learn. You're in a real project without full pressure. So you have to observe how decisions are being made, suggest small tech improvements, and fresh eyes equal fresh ideas. So you have to open your heart to learn a lot on your internship. Like having an internship is a very good opportunity for you to learn more. I remember when I interned at a financial institution back then, I learned a whole lot because while learning my data analysis program and my data analysis, then I think, oh, I know this thing very well. I know this thing I'm very good at this thing. Not until when I started my internship, that's when I know, okay, this is another way to do this thing. So there's a lot to learn during your internship that will take you a very long way in your career. So just take your internship, like be open to your coach, like talk to him that, okay, this is what I'm not getting. How do we do this? How do I do that? So be open, be able to learn a lot so that when you go out there after your internship, you will be well equipped. So your career is your toolkit. We have tech plus data plus AI is an added advantage for you. Don't stop after one training. You have to continue learning, you have to continue learning day by day. Then we have the start small, apply fast, and share your results. Employers basically hire problem solvers. So when you are able to solve a particular problem for them, tech actually make it easy for you to be one of the problem solvers. So just say yourself that, especially this data analytics of a team. When you know how to work with your data very well, then you're a problem solver. Just when you are in a project manager and you're already tracking how their this thing, how their expenses is going, how their delivery time, their logistics and everything, if you are tracking it very well, and they say that okay, when they want to make a decision, you now come in that okay, I've been tracking this particular data, and from my own perspective, I see that if you go through this route, we are not going to achieve our results on time. When you make such inputs during a project, your boss will be like, oh, this guy is actually right, because you're not talking from your instinct, you're not talking from your guts, you're talking from data. So data actually give you, like, it actually solves a lot of problem for you. So they'll not be like, oh, so there's someone that's actually looking out for the organization. So data is actually another advantage. So the practical takeaway is just audit your data, ask, are we tracking the right things? Build a decision loop. We have the collect data, analyze data, ask the data, review, and repeat again. Collect, analyze, act, and review. So then you have to invest in your visualization. If it is not clear, it is not useful. So another thing about this, about the data of a thing is why you need to ask the data, are we tracking the right things? When you are tracking your data, let's say you are maybe like, if you're not talking about the project man, let's say we are talking about the business part. When you are working with the business people as business intelligence analyst, so we have some stakeholders that are actually interested in profit. We have some people that are actually the shareholders are interested in the profit, while the HR is interested in how their workers are performing. Maybe they are doing the right thing at the right time, or they are not. So you have to try, when you are now doing your analysis, you have to know what to focus your analysis on. Are you focusing it on the profit, or you are focusing on the location? And when you are dealing with location, probably you want to know the location that is more profitable, that is bringing in more revenue to the company. So you have to know what to track, and what you are tracking is whatever you are tracking is telling a different story. If you are tracking profit, is telling a profit story. If you are tracking location, is telling location story. If you are tracking, so whatever you are tracking, you have to know if you are tracking the right thing, or you are not tracking or you are tracking another thing entirely. But for every analysis, there is a story behind any analysis. So that is that. And now it is your turn. You can ask questions. You can bring your idea. So it's your turn to ask questions and to bring your idea, or you have any mean to share. Probably you have used the data before. Maybe you've used data to make an informed decision before, so you can share the story with us. And if you have questions, feel free to ask, and you have the idea that you want to share. The floor is open.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Suliyat. It's been a wonderful 32 minutes.
Yes.
It's really fully packed. I appreciate your presence and your presentation. Of course, we have both data analysts and students of data analysis on the call right now, but I just want to add that I appreciate you and everything you have talked about. You've been able to mention during your presentation importance of data and keeping records, and transferring your data from previous similar projects, especially in construction, to make informed decisions on your current project or planned project. It's a thing and it works. I have used that before and I know the practicality of that. So thank you. That's one key takeaway for people today. And also using data for risk identification. Part of the input of risk identification is actually to look back in your previous project and see what happened there. You use that to actually tailor how you mitigate the known unknowns, or even the known unknowns that might come up in your upcoming project. Also, you mentioned something around predictive analysis and automation, which it's really a thing right now in the sector of artificial intelligence and tech in general. And one key thing that really I think resonated well with everybody is skills change very fast. it's very important that they really understand that part. And even me, he's speaking right now. I want that to be what I will be waking up to, realize every day. Skills change very fast, and skills expire. You can have a skill now, right? And in the next 1 year, people are already turning to another tool to use. So you need to be very updated in how you learn, right? And then start small and grow big. Learn in public, ensure that people know what you are doing. Do not build in silo. Let people understand what you are doing. So I really appreciate you, and it's been very wonderful. Your presentation is very rich. But before I throw it to the floor, the participants to ask questions, I want to start with my own question. It's the age of AI, right? And I know that it's most definitely it applies to data analytics sector too. So if I want to start data analysis now as a student, I am starting fresh. I want to learn all the tools. Would you advise that I start with the AI rich tools or the primary tools even before AI came? That's 1A. 1B is, which tools would you want me to start with? I know a couple of them, but because I don't know much about data analytics, which one should I start with? Is it Power BI? Is it SQL? Is it Tableau? Is it Excel? So I want you to be for anybody trying to go into the data analytics now. Which tool would he learn first? Which one should come next? And then how many tools can that person learn before he starts say, I want to start building something for me to show to the public? And after that, participants can ask their own questions.
So, okay, thank you for that question. The thing is, the core skills of data analytics, the people have been into data analytics for years, and those tools, they have not expired. The Excel, the Power SQL, the Power BI, the Tableau, the Python, they have not expired. And the AI tools that you think you can jump into, those AI tools, they are built on the foundation of those primary tools, which is Excel, SQL, Power BI or Tableau, the Python or the R. So if I'm to advise a beginner to start with, that wants to do data analysis, it's best to start with Excel. And after Excel, you can actually proceed to Power BI or Tableau, or you proceed to SQL. So what Excel is going to do for you, Excel is just like a foundation, like very simple. Everybody believes they know how to use Excel. Everybody believes they know how to use Excel, which is not. Because even data entry in Excel, there is a way you enter data as a data analyst, and there is a way someone that is not into data as well, there is a way the person is going to enter data. I don't know, people that we have here that is working on Excel, when you are doing your data formatting and you want to write probably a phone number starts with 0 and you're having maybe 080 something. If you put 080, if you put any number that starts with 0 in Excel, your first 0 is not going to show. True or false? If you have been working with Excel very well. Hello?
That's true.
Yeah.
Working with Excel, is not the first 0 is not going to show on Excel unless you format the table. So so there is no way you can actually skip the basic tools of data analysis. The first thing is to start with Excel, which is your foundation. Then after Excel, you can go to, I cannot advise you to go to SQL because SQL might actually scare you a bit. So after Excel, you can go to Power BI or Tableau. So Excel is majorly used for data cleaning. Though we use it for visualization as well, but it is majorly used for data cleaning, because when you visualize on Power BI, like Power BI is very sweet. It's very sweet for visualization compared to Excel. You will prefer using Power BI to visualize than Excel, but Excel is very good. It's very great at cleaning. It's very good for cleaning. It's very easy to navigate when you're cleaning your data, but Power BI is strong for visualization. Same thing as Tableau. The only reason why I don't like people prefer Power BI. I prefer Power BI to Tableau is because it's very easy for you to share your dashboard on Power BI. But when you are working on Tableau, you have to log into their site to access your file, the file that you've worked on, the dashboard that you've worked on. You have to log into their website to be able to access that particular file. That's the disadvantages of Tableau. You cannot export your dashboard. You can only see your dashboard on their site. And Tableau is just like, let's say, just like your Twitter or your social media where you have your all your write-ups and everything like that. So Tableau is where you actually have Tableau is where you have all your dashboard you've worked on. So it actually saves it just like they save it on social media, and people have access to come to that Tableau, follow you and like your projects, comment on your projects and the likes. So that is what Tableau. So people actually prefer using Power BI. So let's say after you learn your Power BI, then you can go to SQL, which is little coding. So you can go to SQL, and after SQL, you can go to Python. So it's either you learn Python or you learn R. Both are programming language that is used for website it's used for website scraping. You can scrap data from the internet using Python or using R. So that is what Python or R, that's the importance of it. They can scrap data from the internet, and you are going to download data from the internet and you solve it with Python. But SQL, what you use SQL for is, let's say you're having billions of data. Power BI cannot process billions of data, and Excel cannot process billions of data, but SQL can do that. So SQL, it's very easy for your SQL to write a query that is going to reduce that particular plenty data that you have. It's possible for you to use SQL and reduce this to as low as thousands or as low as 10. Just writing a query that, okay, I'm just interested in seeing people from Nigeria that are male, that are maybe like that, are 39 years old. You understand? That kind of information, you can actually use it to stream down as many data as you have using SQL. So SQL is actually used for big data, while that Excel and Power BI is used for small data. So it is after you've written your query that you've streamlined the data down to maybe to thousands or to millions. Then you can now take it to Excel for data cleaning, or you take it to Power BI for visualization. So what you do on SQL is you query your data. Then after querying your data, then you can take it to Power BI for your visualization, or you take it to Excel. We provide Excel for your visualization. Well, Power BI is actually powerful for visualization. So Excel SQL is for querying big data. And all these organizations, they are actually using big data. We are working with Google, Meta, and the likes. They work with big data. So SQL actually query your data for you and make it as simple as, then you take it to your thing. While SQL, Python or R, it scraps the data from the internet and you analyze the data using Python when you're bringing data from the website. So that is the difference between the four tools. So what you can learn is you learn you learn Excel, Power BI or Tableau, then you pick your SQL, then you pick your Python or you pick your R. The Python and R is the programming language. So after you learn the four, then you are good to go. And as you are learning the Excel, make sure you are building as at least maybe like 3 to 4 projects, at least 3 projects with your Excel, build like 3 projects with your Power BI, build like 3 projects with your SQL, build like 3 projects with that, push them to your GitHub. As you are building the projects, make sure you are pushing them to GitHub. And before you actually finish the 3 or 4 this thing, you can start applying for jobs. So that's I think I've answered the question. So you cannot skip the tools. You cannot skip the tools. You can never you can never skip the tools. It's not possible.
Okay. So
yeah.
thank you for answering that. You can stop sharing your screen now so that participants can have the chance. I can see a lot of reactions. I don't think you can see them, but a lot of them have been giving you thumbs up, and so I know that they have a couple of questions to ask. So you have the floor. If you have questions, raise your hand, then I will call you so that we have that order. Ahmad will go first. You can unmute and ask your questions. If there's anyone else, you can also raise your hand and I'll call you next. So go, Ahmad.
All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have two questions. So my first question is, for a student interested in data analysis and project management, what kind of entry level opportunities should I be looking out for? And the second question is, if you were mentoring a student today, what steps would you advise them to take to stand out in the job market? Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you. I can hear you. So
Yes, those are.
those are your questions. Sorry, let me drop this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for entry level, there's one thing about this data analysis role. Data analysis role it might not come as a data analyst. You might have like a business intelligence analyst, reporting analyst, market analyst, research analyst. So when you are looking for a job, don't just look for a job that has data analyst. You can actually apply for jobs that is maybe like a market analyst, research analyst, different analyst. Everything is just, you can just, data analyst is not come, it might not come as data analyst. But if you want to apply for a entry level role, then you can apply for a junior data analyst. But irrespective of that, if you are sure that you actually know those tools very well, you can apply for any job that actually puts analyst, any job that has an analyst in front of it, because sometimes the job won't come as data analyst. You see market financial analyst, this analyst. When I got I wasn't into finance. I'm not into finance when I got my intern as a data analyst. So then working at that place, I can say, okay, I'm a financial analyst as well. So it depends on where you are working that will tailor your thinking and your tools towards. Sometimes when you are working, they will say, okay, they want someone that know Excel, Power BI, SQL, and this and that. And when you get to the place that you want to work, you only be working with Excel. And there's some places that when you get there, you're only working with SQL. So when you are looking for a job, don't just look for a job that is having data analyst. Look for other like market analyst, business analyst, and the likes. I hope I answered your questions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And for the tools,
Yeah.
another thing is when you are
Question.
doing your training, when you are building your project and you are building in public, you can start applying for jobs. So far, when you are very sure that okay, I can solve the problem, when you know you can solve the problem with data, then you can start applying for jobs. When you have projects in your GitHub ready or you have your CV ready, you can start applying for jobs. So a friend of mine actually got his job when the only tool then was Excel. So what did the guy do? The guy he can apply for 50 jobs in a day. Anyway that he sees that they are writing analysts, maybe they are looking for this analyst, that analyst, is going to apply. And luckily for him, I don't think he did it for 1 month before he secured his job. Like someone that only know Excel. So it's the audacity for me. So if you have the audacity to apply, you just keep on. And thank God they're in the age of AI. It's very easy for AI to just give your CV to AI that, okay, I want to apply for this particular job. Help me tailor my CV to suit this particular job. So it's very easy to do that. So when you do that, trust me, you can apply for as many jobs as possible. So it's doing your this thing. The more you apply, is the more probability for you to get a job. Not that you just keep your projects inside somewhere, you not apply for anything and you think that job will come. No, job will not come. You have to keep applying. So I hope I answered your question, Mr. Ahmad.
Yes, ma'am. The second question.
Okay,
Can
sorry,
you
come
repeat,
again.
can you repeat the question?
I said, if you were to mentor a student, if you are
Okay.
mentoring students today, what steps would you advise them to take to stand out in the job market?
Okay, well, to stand out in the job market, the first thing I used to tell my students is there is power in showing up. There is power in telling people, letting people know that this is what you do and this is what you are great at. It doesn't stop at let's say your WhatsApp contacts, your Twitter, your social media. Like it doesn't. Job can come from any angle, so you have to let people know that this is what you do. I've got many opportunities from Twitter back then when I used to post back to back. I have many opportunities, but The thing is, my location is one problem on its own because I'm in Ilorin and most of the job opportunities is coming from Lagos State. So you have to put yourself out there, let people know that this is what you do and this is the problem that you can solve. So my one takeaway to all my students is whenever you are doing something, show it to the world, let them know this is what you do, and don't put your project inside your system. Let people know that this is what you do. Push it to your GitHub and push it out to let people know that this is what you worked on. This is the problem you are trying to solve, and this is the problem that you have solved. From there, you don't know who is watching. Opportunities are everywhere. That's just it. I hope I answer your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
So,
answering that question. Do we have other questions? If you have questions, it's time to ask before we wrap up. We have 10 minutes more. We still have time for questions and answers. Okay. Okay, I have a question, right? Maybe by the time you're done answering my own question next, we'll have someone else to ask. I believe that the reason why, okay, Adeleke Akamu has a question. You can unmute and ask a question, please. Adeleke.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma. My question is that how do we? I'm basically talking on Python now. Of course, you mentioned Python.
I can't
Am
tell
I
you.
right, ma?
You have to be
I said
audible.
you mentioned. I said you mentioned Python when you
Yes.
were talking last time. How do we start solving problems and or using Python in data analysis?
So to answer your question, how do you solve problem using Python? If you want to
Yeah.
use data, Python to solve a problem is actually when you want to scrap a website for data. Maybe you want to work with a data and probably let's say the data is on a particular website and you want to derive your data from that particular data. So that is when you use Python. But in most organizations, when you're working with an organization, they send their database to you to work on. And when they send their database to you to work on, you're going to the database on SQL before you transform it to Excel or Power BI. But before you can work on Python, then you have to be very good at Excel, SQL, and Power BI before you move to Python, because Python is a programming tool. So you have to be solid at the basic tools first before you go to the programming tools. So have I answered your question?
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Another thing about data analysis is beyond learning the tools, you have to have the problem solving. You have to have the problem solving skills and storytelling as well. If this AI is taking people's job and others, the ability to understand the problem, and to analyze it and communicate a solution, that skills can never expire. If any other thing expire, maybe like the tools expire or anything, but your ability to be able to understand the particular problem, okay, this particular organization, this is the problem they are facing. For you to understand their problem, analyze it, and communicate a solution to them, that is a very, very, very strong skill. So you have to be very strong at problem solving skills and storytelling skills. You'll be able to tell your story that, okay, from this is what I've seen using my data, this is what I derived, and this is what you should do. So I believe that ability can never expire even if the tools expire. So over to you, Mr. Olawale. Mr. Adewale.
Okay. Thank you, Adeleke, for asking that question, and also Suliyat for answering. I believe that Adeleke is not already into data analysis, but from the way, or by the way he sounded, I think he's already into Python usage. So if I may chime in a bit, Python, as you understand, is a programming language and is a universal programming language. So you use it for web scraping to get information on the web or anywhere on a website or even generally online. In marketing, there is a concept of lead generation, right? You must have heard about cold emailing before, where you get a bunch of people's email and you don't know them from Adam. You just get their emails maybe on LinkedIn or Instagram, and then you just cold email them for opportunities. You can use Python for that, and that is part of web scraping. So when you get that kind of data, you can now you use Python for that, then you can transfer it to Excel for cleaning. So basically, that is what you use Python for. I believe he's using it for other things like maybe programming, app development, as the case may be. But definitely, it doesn't use it for data analysis, right? Don't also forget that you can connect with the speaker on LinkedIn. The link to our profile is already dropped on the WhatsApp group. And also don't forget about Candrit. For those of us that have participated from episode 1, tomorrow we'll be having a quiz where you have the opportunity to actually win cash prizes. And the quiz will be based on today's lecture, right? We always have about 10 to 12 questions to solve, and it's really, really exciting. Candrit is the first Nigerian free-to-play quiz platform. You can check them out. Candrid.com is the address. Even outside the quiz that we run for the knowledge drop, you can always participate on their platform every evening between 8:30 and 9:30. You can play, just leverage on your knowledge, different topics every day, and win cash prizes. But for tomorrow, there is a special quiz for the knowledge drop every fortnight, the second day after each session, just for us to test our knowledge and to win a few naira and use it to pay our bills or buy airtime. So if you have not checked out Candrid, check it out on candrid.com. And for those of you that already know the drill, you will have to send me your username. Either you send it to me directly or you drop it on the group. But I think it's better that you drop it on the group so that I can collate it and send it to the admin of Candrid. Rovers Global is the official project management consultancy partner to Candrid. And we have partnered on that side of things so that we can get our participants to not just participate in this program, but also after 24 hours, leverage on the knowledge they have gathered, like today, to answer questions and win prizes. So I'll be expecting your usernames after you register. For those of you that have not registered on Candrid.com, send it back to the WhatsApp group where you have been added. So it's 3:58. We're just right on time. If we don't have questions coming from the participants anymore, it will be a very convenient time to say thank you, our guest speaker for today. It's really exciting having you. Like I tell all my guest speakers, we have not paid you a dime, but you have responded, and it is the Lord's work that you are doing, because every participant here have taken one or two information and knowledge from you today. And it might actually be the foundation or the launching pad for them to have their own career. No one can tell. So thank you. God will bless you. We'll continue to remember you in our prayers, especially me. I pray for all my guest speakers because I don't have money to give you. So thank you, our guest speaker. Thank you. Till the next time, I believe I can bring you back because I'm thinking of having real practical sessions for our participants, right? But that is not a conversation that I've even had with you. But thank you for coming first. I expect that we'll bring you back. I believe that the participants will also be very happy to have you again on the program. So thank you, everyone. God bless you. Till next time. Stay blessed.